Good morning. In this video, I'm going to share with you a quick and easy way to make a cowl neck dress. I've made many of these. It takes me around 30 to 45 minutes. To start, I have this fabric. This is a knit fabric and this is from Walmart. It's 3 yards and it costed me just $8. You can make this out of 2 yards. That should be enough too. I'm going to start taking my measurements for this. The measurements that we need for this is your chest. It's 37. Then bust, it's 37 and a half, waist 32, hips 40 and a half, armhole 16 and a half, length of sleeves 12, the around measurement for the length, full length 9, and the length of the dress 37. I'm going to spread this fabric first. The length of the dress is 37 inches. So to add 1 inch seam allowance, I'm measuring this at 38 inches. I'm going to mark here. This is the shoulder. My shoulder is 15 inches, but I don't want to mark exactly 7.5 inches here. I would mark 6.5. I'll reduce my shoulder by 1 inch because this is a cowl neck and it's going to spread when you wear it and it will fall off the shoulder. So I'm marking it at 6.5. Now I'm going to mark the armhole. My armhole is 16 inches. So 7 is where I'm marking and I'll check if that is going to work. For the chest was 37 inches. 1/4 of 37 is 9.25. I'm not going to add any ease because this is a stretch fabric, this is a knit fabric. Now I've just given a little curvature for the armhole and I'm going to measure if this fits my armhole. My armhole measurement was 16.5 inches. This is coming to 18 inches. This is 9. Double of 9 is 18. So I will reduce this a little bit more. So instead of 7, I'm going to mark it at 6.75. And then draw the curvature again and see how much the armhole measures. This is 8.25. So I can do with this because my armhole measurement was 16.5. Now I'm going to mark my bust. The bust lies at 10 inches from shoulder, and also I'm going to give the markings for waist. My waist lays at 14 inches from shoulder and my hips lay at 19 inches from shoulder. Now at 10 inches, the bust point, I'm going to mark 37.5 was the bust. So 1/4 of it, which would be 9.4 or something. Waist was 32. 1/4 of it is 8. And then hips was 40 or 41. I would like to put it at 40 because the stretch, I want this to be much fitted. So I'm going to put it 10.1 or 10.2. That's my, so here I have 10.2. At the bottom, I want this to be a fitted dress. So at the bottom, I'm only going to mark it at 7 inches. I've seen that 7 inches fitting is what I usually like because it tapers like this. Now I'm going to join all these points. And now I'm going to add 1 inch seam allowance here. Here I'm going to give a slight of 0.5 inch marking here and I'm going to give it a little curve and I'm going to do the cutting. Shoulder here, I want it just to be like 2.22 inches. Then I'm going to give the neck depth to be 2 inches and then just give a curve. Here I'm going to give a 0.5 inch seam allowance for the stitching. If you want, you can give a little dip here of 0.5 inches. A little dip. I'm giving a little bit seam allowance here for the neck. And a little bit of seam allowance for the armhole too. This is the folding side. I'm going to cut the front part now, which has the cowl. So I've laid down it in one fold, and I'm going to place the cut fabric for the back side on top of this. This is my guide. Now I'm going to mark from here. I'm going to just copy or trace these measurements, this whole pattern. And then here I'm going to give a little bit just to know where the armhole started. Now the tricky part here is to make the cowl. To make the cowl, I'm going to move this part by 2 inches. So I'm going to lift this and place it like this. And move this by 2 inches. That's my goal. This has to be at least 2 inches, and this has to align with the marking that I had. Yeah, now this is perfect. I'm going to copy this again. I'm going to trace the armhole here and the shoulder, and this is where it ended. Now I can remove this part. Usually the front armhole is a little deeper, so from here I'm going to mark it a little deeper inside, a 3/4 inch inside. So from here I'm going to mark it 3/4 inch inside and join it like this. That's my inner armhole. And from shoulder I'm going to just draw a straight line. So these are going to gather up like this. Now I can do the cutting. I'm going to start stitching by joining the shoulders first. I'm going to use a simple zigzag stitch and join it here. The shoulders are joined with a very simple zigzag stitch. Now I'm going to make the neck. Making the neck is very easy. I'm just going to fold the neck like this and do a zigzag throughout. This is the front neck. So I'm going to just fold it by 1/4 inch like this throughout. And this is the back neck, and then I'm going to run a zigzag stitch all over. The zigzag is complete on the neck, and you can see how the cowl is falling down. So when I wear it, it's gonna look very nice in this area. Now I'm going to stitch on the sides, both the sides, with a zigzag, and also I'm going to hem the bottom. I'll fold it 1 inch and do a zigzag. I stitched the sides and also the bottom. Now I'm only left with the sleeves. I'm going to cut the sleeves now. The length of the sleeve is 12 inches. I folded the fabric once here. There's one fold. This is bulky, so I don't want to cut both the sleeves together, so I'll cut it one by one. I marked 12 inches and then 1/2 inch extra for the seam allowance at the bottom. From the top, I'm going to mark a line at 4 inches, and then I'm going to join with a curvy like this, a little curve. And then I'm going to measure my armhole. My armhole actual measurement is 16.5. So I'm going to mark at 16.5, so 8.25 basically, because this is folded into half. and then I'm going to add an inch of allowance, seam allowance. And the bottom measurements was, how much was it? It was 9 inches. So I'm going to mark at 4.75, like I'll have like a 1/4 inch of ease, and then inch of seam allowance. Now I'm going to join this with this. I'll also around 5 inches, I'll measure how much this comes to. It comes, for me, the bicep round is around 6 inches or 6.25. So this exactly is a 1 inch allowance. So this sleeve should be good for me. So I'm going to cut this, and the same thing I'm going to cut another time for the second sleeve. For the front part, I'm going to give a 1/2 inch inner depth over here, just a 1/2 inch, so that the fitting is better. So I'm going to cut a little bit, only one side. Like that. I'm going to hem the bottoms of the sleeves and then join it to the armhole. Then the dress will be complete. I'll wear it and show it to you. It was so quick and easy. I like the cowl, the fall of it. The sleeves are comfortable. I'll wash it and see. Sometimes these fabrics shrink a little bit. If I wash it and it doesn't shrink, then I may tighten it a little bit, but I'm very comfortable in the fitting that it's giving to me right now.